What's up, everybody? My name is Scott Waters. Welcome to Untitled Metal. Going to be doing a rock metal update. That's right, time for a rock and metal update. Mostly 12-inch vinyl here, mostly all metal. But let me start with a couple oddballs that aren't 12-inch vinyl. But this is Deceased. This is a recent release from them on 10-inch vinyl. This is actually their 1989 demos. So 7 tracks. That the Nuclear Exorcist demo from 1989, 10-inch vinyl. And I think my copy is black. I do think they had colored vinyl too, but again, I don't care much about colored vinyl unless it's like something special. But it's death metal. What else is supposed to be on, right? So anyhow, 10-inch vinyl from Deceased, Nuclear Exorcist, and then this is just a cool shaped disc. But this is a Razor. This is a High Roller reissue from recently, but it's The End, Take This Torch, and Armed and Dangerous. And as you can see, it's got the shaped Razor 7-inch vinyl on the inside of it, or it might even be 12-inch. I don't know what the size is, but more of a collector's item than anything else. Although I did play it once and it sounds good. So shaped picture disc. This is the one and only record from Record Store Day that I've picked up. I didn't actually purchase it myself. I asked several friends to keep an eye out for it, and one of them was able to find it, my buddy Steve Wolfman, and he hooked me up with Voivod's Angel Rat, and I'm so glad to have this progressive rock masterpiece in my collection finally on vinyl. I've had the CD since it came out, but finding this thing on vinyl has been nearly impossible. It was never released in the United States on vinyl, and European copies were hundreds of dollars, and if you could even find it. So it sounds good. I played it already. I'm a little disappointed in the packaging. There's literally nothing inside this thing except for the vinyl itself. There's no insert, no picture sleeves, nothing. The album reproduction is okay, as you can see. But yeah, you could definitely tell it's been blown up from a cassette. And they did a pretty good job of blowing it up, cleaning it up, making it look nice. So no complaints there. But the vinyl's kind of it's supposed to be deep purple with a gold splatter, and it does have some splatter in it, but man, it is hard to see, probably especially on the camera there. But yeah, when it's dark, it almost looks black, but in the light, you can tell it's purple. So regardless, I don't care what the color of the vinyl is, as long as the vinyl sounds good, and it does. So Canadian progressive rock classic from Voivod. This is Angel Rat. All right, and next up, picked this one up from a buddy of mine who was selling off part of his collection. I'm glad to have it in my collection. This is the Overkill FU EP, and this is obviously a Japanese pressing. I've played this thing already. It sounds superb. So, yeah, just classic Overkill. So it's got FU, Rotten to the Core, Hammerhead, Use Your Head, and Electro-Violence. So there you go. Pristine Japanese copy of that. All right, this is actually just came out. I'll probably show this again in another video in the future for like a No Life to Metal graphics update, but finally on vinyl, this is the Musketeers Downward Spiral. This is their 1991 album. Musketeers came out of a band called Rapture, which came out of another band from before that, Vigilante. So Vigilante was an early 80s band, about, I don't know, 84, I think, or 8 or so. They changed their name to Rapture, started recording lots of demos under the Rapture name, and then in 1989 they changed their name to the Musketeers. They recorded this 4-song demo. They were being flown all over the country by a certain record company that was supposed to sign them, had them playing showcase gigs out in California, and then something fell through. I don't know the whole story. All I know is that at the last minute it fell through, and despite this band's popularity at the time, in fact they were touring all over the country. They toured with Barren Cross. They were opening for bands like Testament. Whatever, it didn't go through. So they ended up recording the album themselves and released it on cassette tape, which I purchased at one of their concerts in 1991. So this album features songs that were recorded between 89 and 90 and finally released in 1991. And this is the first time it's been released on vinyl. And there you can see the bands on the back. And only 100 copies pressed in the United States. If you're interested in this one, it's roxrecords.com. Fantastic thrash metal album. I think, last I heard, there was only like 20 copies left. So, all right, this is, I believe, a 2021 release. I just finally picked up this year, but this is the most recent Michael Schenker Group album, Immortal. It features a ton of different vocalists, a lot of different guys from their past. Let's see. I really quite enjoyed it. I mean, it's just straightforward, 80s style, hard rock, heavy metal, whatever you want to call it. But the cast of vocalists on here and musicians is pretty. So we got lead vocals. Let's see, Ralph Sheepers sings on here. You've got let's see who else is on. Jolyn Turner singing on here. Michael Voss, Ronnie Romero. Man, I would have swore. Who else sang on here? Let's see. I'm looking for more names on here. Vocals. Ronnie Romero. Vocals. Jolyn Turner. Michael Ross. Ronnie Romero. Jolyn Turner. Ralph Sheepers. Michael Voss. And Ralph Sheepers. So there you go. Anyhow, cool cover. Good album. If you like Schenker, his he has his own style for sure. I mean, the man behind the classic UFO albums from the 70s and whatnot. Then this is definitely worth picking up. I quite enjoyed it. I've only played it twice so far because I just recently picked it up. It was on Amazon, fairly inexpensive. I think it was only like $20. So, and there's a 12 by 24 inch poster in there as well. So, cool release. Glad to have it. I'm a big Michael Schenker fan. Of course, his 80s stuff is just nostalgically great. But glad to have this newer stuff as well. Glad he's still out there making music. And doesn't want to go away, so we'll have to put this away and figure it out later. What is in here? Something I didn't know was in here. Oh, a little form for buying shirts and stuff from Nuclear Blast. And this is on Nuclear Blast, so. Alright, next up, the new EP from Violence. Of course, one of the greats from the Bay Area thrash scene of the 80s, and been gone for a long time, and they're back now, minus Rob Flynn. Instead, we've got another classic guitar player on here. You've got, excuse me, what's his name? I'm forgetting his freaking name. Where is it? Bobby Gustafson, overkill guitar player on here. I'm not sure why I couldn't remember that. But Sean Killian on vocals, Phil Gemmell on guitars, Bobby Gustafson on guitars, Perry Strickland on drums, and Chris Old-Wolbers on bass. This is an EP, 5 songs I believe it was. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is just fantastic thrash metal. I usually have this rule when I do my end of the year things where I don't include usually like compilations or EPs and those kind of things. Ain't no way I'm not including this in my top 20 because this album is just fantastic, regardless if it's only 5 songs. Really glad these guys are back and putting out new music. Also really looking forward to the new Dark Angel, and I can't wait till their new album is out. All right, getting away from the thrash, this is straightforward heavy metal. This is Wolf. I'd call them new wave of heavy metal, or new wave of traditional heavy metal, but they've actually predate that whole scene quite a bit, and they've got massive amount of albums out now. So I think I own them all. I just keep buying them every time they come out, and I'm always impressed. And I always enjoy them. So this is the brand new Wolf. This is Shadowland. I think there's different colored vinyl in this. I think I picked up the black one. We'll find out in a second because I can't remember 100% right now. But it does come with a poster. The cover art. I think the band themselves were selling autographed copies, but the shipping from York was so expensive. I just couldn't do it, so I just waited and I picked up the U.S. pressing instead. It does have an insert with band photos, lyrics, obviously, and if I'm not mistaken, I'm almost positive I picked the black vinyl. Yeah, it's black vinyl. So there you go, custom center label. Both sides are a little different. It's really hard not to touch the vinyl, but sometimes it's with static and stuff. It's hard to get it out without putting your fingers on the edges and the dead wax. So, all right, Wolf Shadowland 2022 release. Really good stuff. All right, next up we've got another new album. This is the new album from Hammerfall. And again, much like the Wolf, if you like Hammerfall, you'll probably dig this album. To me, I think this is one of the better albums they've done in a long time. I quite enjoyed it. I played it. I mean, I've just had this thing for maybe 2 or 3 weeks, and I've played it 4 or 5 times. Quite enjoyed it. Really good. Hammer of the Dawn. I think the only 2 members of the band, the original band that are left, is the vocalist and guitar player, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to double check that. I just remember looking at it when it first came in and like, man, I don't recognize most of these guys. So, there's a huge gatefold in here. There's a picture of the band. And so, yeah. Vocalists, Joachim Keynes and Oscar Droniak are the only 2 original members that I recall. The other guitar player, Pontus Norgren. Bass is Frederick Larson. And drums are David Wallen. So, but as I recall, Oscar has always been the main songwriter in the band. And so, I mean, it doesn't really make a huge difference in their sound, at least not that I've noticed. These guys have definitely been consistent. They've always played just straightforward heavy metal. A little bit of, trying new things here and there. They wrote a song with one of the guys from Venom and kind of went into that kind of darker area. But for the most part, they are just traditional European heavy metal. Some people call them power metal. I don't know. They're not really power metal to the point where like it's double bass all the time and singing of Dungeons and Dragons. Nothing wrong with that, but I don't really hear that with Hammerfall. They're just more of a straightforward heavy metal band, and in league with like bands like Judas Priest and Iron Maiden. So, all right, reissue. Just one of the Lizzie Borden albums I was missing. I posted this on Facebook when I first picked it up and played it, and I got a lot of comments. People, I hate that album. I don't like that album. I don't know why. I love this album. It's this great Lizzie Borden album. I've always enjoyed this one. So this is on a gray vinyl. I don't even think I had a choice on the color of the vinyl, but kind of as you can see, I don't know how much glare I can get on it, but you can see there's kind of a smoky marbling effect to it. And there is if I can get it out, an insert with the lyrics and the deal with the devil. And if I'm not mistaken, there was maybe a poster in here or something too. Yeah, there was a poster, which I believe is just the album cover, but it's huge. I mean, it's I'm gonna say 24 by 36 inch poster. Yep, huge poster. So there you go. Thing about posters inside of albums, although I always dig them, and I, when I first open them up, I'm always impressed when there's one in there, and I like them. I mean, ever since I was a kid, and with bands like Kiss, and getting, I think Earth, Wind and Fire also had posters in their 70s albums. I just remember always loving the posters, but when I was a kid, I hung them up. Now they have to stay with the record because they're just part of the record, so I don't ever hang those up. So, all right, next up. Picked this up from the same guy I picked up the Overkill one from. This is actually a gift he gave me because I've been buying quite a few things from him. But this is Cathedral, Epic Doom, great album. This is number 50 of 150, pressed on green wax, double LP set. Also includes a poster, gatefold, just classic Doom. When it comes to Doom, there's definitely more than one style of Doom, just like every other style of metal. But I always considered these guys to be kind of the epic style Doom, or not unlike Candlemass or bands like that. But then there's like more traditional Doom, like Pentagram, Place of Skulls, and that kind of thing. These guys are more epic Doom, Solitude Alternus and bands like that. And then there's kind of the Doom death bands like bands like Paramecium that I also really love. So I mean, there's so much great Doom metal out there, all kind of Sabbath inspired, obviously, but great stuff nonetheless. And it's like a really pretty emerald green vinyl, kind of a translucent emerald green vinyl. All right, keeping on. I got one or two more here. Let's see, 1, 2, one more new release and one more reissue. This is Funny Money, which is the band from that came out of Kicks, and this, like I said, is a reissue. It's on Heaven and Hell Records. That is the original cover. It's just unfortunate that it looks to me like it was scanned from the CD but wasn't descreened, so it's got a lot of pixelation to it. huge dots on it. It's not horrible. I've seen a lot worse. At least it doesn't have a moire. Now on the back, I'm definitely not going to. It's definitely not going to be able to see it from on the screen, but it does have a bit of a moire pattern because it was not scanned properly. It wasn't descreened. If you guys have watched any of my No Life Metal graphics videos, you know that when I have to blow up an album from a CD because it's the only thing available. To go to vinyl, I always make sure I descreen it and do a process where it becomes a continuous tone photograph. Now, it might make it just a hair blurrier, but you can clean that up and sharpen it down the road. If you don't descreen it, you're putting printer dots on top of printer dots, and you can get what's called a moire pattern. And there's definitely a moire pattern on the back here, which is unfortunate. But and then the same thing holds true for the inner sleeve. Unfortunately, there's a picture of the band, which is a pencil drawing of the band, but it is super duper blurry and has these gigantic dots. Again, descreening would have cleaned that up. And then lyrics. At least all the text is clean, so the text wasn't scanned. That's including on the back cover. It's on a really pretty purple/violet colored vinyl. It is in a polyline sleeve, which is nice. And then it also comes with this little stack of, looks like Monopoly money, but it actually says funny money on it. There's a $500 bill. And it's got all the different denominations and the different colors that you would see in Monopoly. 500, 150, 20, 10, 5, 1. Okay, this is going to be the last one for this vinyl update. This is the brand new album from The Darkness, and every time they put out a new album, I always buy it, and someone always like, I can't believe you like those guys. They're horrible. Whatever. I like them. I like them a lot, and I always have. I don't know what it is. I like the odd vocal style. I like their big poppy hooks. I like their kind of commercial glammy metal style. So whatever. This is brand new. I just got this week. I've only heard it once, but man, I really liked it. I wouldn't doubt it will make my list for 2022 as well. So anyhow, The Darkness. This is Motorheart. I can't remember. I think I just got the black vinyl. I think it was available in orange as well, but I picked up the black. I tend to pick up the black, like I said, unless it's something really special. Just because black tends to sound better, it has less poppiness to it. And then also, if you can actually see if it's dirty or if there's scratches or that kind of thing on black vinyl, which you can't see on a lot of the colored vinyls, but that's just a preference thing for me. Sometimes I think the some of these special vinyl colors that they do are pretty neat. So all right, that's it for this edition. Oh wait, one more. This is not a CD, but I mean it's not a vinyl. This is a CD. I did order the vinyl on this, but apparently it's been delayed. So I'm hoping I still get the vinyl. But this is the brand new Ted Nugent. This is Detroit Muscle. Came in yesterday, played it on the way to the gym this morning, and I only heard the first few songs, which is Detroit Muscle, Come and Take It, and Born in the Motor City. Sound like classic Nuge to me. I mean, it's straightforward, heavy rock and roll, heavy Nuge, exactly what you expect from Ted Nugent, I haven't heard the whole album yet, but I definitely was impressed with the first 3 tracks. I'm not impressed with the packaging. Unfortunately, it's one of these, digi wallets. It does have a booklet, which is nice. A lot of times when you get digi wallets, you don't get a booklet. Here's the booklet. Little 8-panel roll fold booklet. But anyhow, I'm looking forward to getting the vinyl. Like I said, hope it happens. I mean, I pre-ordered it a long time ago, but the same thing happened a couple years ago. I ordered the new Joe Perry solo album on CD and vinyl. Got the CD in the mail, and the vinyl kept getting delayed, and then it kept canceled and never came out on vinyl. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen to the new Nugent. So anyhow, there you go. Detroit Muscle by Ted Nugent. And that is it for this rock metal update. Appreciate you all watching. God bless. Stay strong.